Alrighty, howdy y'all. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. As you can see, had some cereal for breakfast and some protein yogurt and then a good amount of milk. I think that just regular white milk is like really underrated. Alright, not this. There we go. Oh, okay. I think regular white milk is really underrated for protein. I have a lot of milk. I go through a lot of milk very quickly usually. So yeah, it may not seem like much, just some cereal and protein yogurt with milk, and that was still around like 35 grams of protein, maybe a little bit less. Have not logged it into my tracker yet, but I do believe it is around that general range. So now we're getting my supplements ready to go, and it is only the morning. I'm almost out of fish oil. I gotta go to the store now, or somewhere to get some more. But, oh, itchy eye. Today we got chest, back, and shoulders, and looking forward to that. And it is still in the morning, so I'm not going to the gym quite yet. So still got about like 7-8 hours before I go to the gym. But today, gonna probably go out to the fields that are here on campus and do some backyard football or just throwing some frisbee around before the gym. Looking forward to that. I gotta go get the football inflated. Unfortunately, since we're in Australia, or at least where we got it, it's deflated right now. I don't have like a football that's like the true size of like a normal football. So this one's a bit smaller, so it's a little more awkward to throw. Kind of struggle to get a spiral on it, which is weird because I got smaller hands, so you'd think I'd be able to throw a better spiral, but what do I know? So there'll still probably be some like shots of me walking over there and whatever as whatnot, maybe a few clips of me throwing some football before, you know, obviously heading to the gym and whatnot. I'm still trying to figure out like the best way to make things interesting and format stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed that last video, since it is the first in the line of, you know, trying to change up the layout a little bit. But yeah, that's what we got today. Finishing our Bills-Dolphins game is at halftime right now. Kind of surprised that it's 14-14, but still rooting for the Bills. So yeah. But besides that, I guess I will see y'all at the gym. Alrighty, to start off this chest, back, and shoulder day, of course, we've got incline barbell bench press. Now, I've been thinking of a different way to kind of do this whole talking over my workouts process, and I plan on implementing it into my next video. However, what I plan to do is kind of go more in depth with the clips that I am obviously talking over and analyzing them, and at the end of the clip, just a quick like summary of what I need to improve on and what I think I did well on. Just to, you know, spice it up a little more, give you a visual representation of what I think I need to be doing better. But regardless, incline bench, decided to go down weight a little bit. Instead of starting with a 5, I started with a 2.5. As you know, I have been a little short on my incline barbell reps. And then as for chest press, it's been feeling pretty good. I think it has been going up at a much more consistent rate recently, and I decided to go ahead and try using more of closer to what is known as like the suicide grip on bench press, where I have my thumbs kind of out to the side rather than wrapped around the press, because obviously with chest press I'm not at as much of a risk of dropping anything on myself because I can't, and it feels a lot better. I feel like it's less tension on my shoulders and more just on my chest, and it may just be a placebo thing, but I do genuinely think that that grip helps with that. And then switching it up a little, decided to start with back over my shoulder workouts today. No, just feeling back a little bit more. And with this camera angle, I think next time I have to move it back a little bit. I just figured I would show a bit more of like the contraction that I have when I do my cable rows, and I do believe I also lower the weight a little bit on this because I know in the past I've spoken about how I want to make sure my elbows are getting as far back as they need to be, which is again with that contraction part, making sure that I'm squeezing all the way through the workout. And then for the shoulder press, my buddy actually brought up a really good point. I know I've been logging it as like, let's see, when I do single arm, I log it as what I have on the weight stack. So like, I think I have around 42.5 kilos on right now. So for double arm, I was logging that as, what would that be? That'd be 85 kilos. But I don't know if that's necessarily correct, because my buddy made a good point that, because I figured it was, if you had it set to 42.5 kilos when you're doing one arm, you're moving 42.5 with that one arm. But I know that's a lot of weight, as I can't even do like 30 kilo dumbbells for my shoulder press. So what it actually is probably half of that weight, so it's half of 42.5, which I don't know. I just didn't think of it that way, but I do think he's actually right. I'm not gonna lie. And then, obviously, moving on, we got some cable lateral raises. The goat of cable, or not of cable, well, of cable workout. It's definitely one of the ones that are up there, but of the mid head of the shoulder. And of course, getting better with the camera, moving it around a little bit. And you know, I could cut out me moving the camera around, but I mean, I feel like it's more authentic, I guess, or raw. I don't know, raw just sounds wrong, maybe that's not the right word, of me, you know, moving the camera around to get the angle that I need. And then there, of course, or not of course, but I ended up having to change around the camera again because I didn't know if it, because I have my camera like front facing because it's higher quality and it's like actually, you know, the view that someone would have rather than having it inverted if I was using my backwards camera. So I can't actually see myself like when I have the camera pointed at me. So I just have to take my best guess on whether or not the camera can see me, at least during the workout, because obviously before the workout I'm setting the camera up so I know where it's looking. So when I do have to move it for those unilateral sets of some workouts, I don't know where it is. So I should have just left it there because it did make me stop like 2 reps into my cable lateral raises. But regardless of that, still felt pretty good. Make sure I was being even on both arms. And cable face pulls, a lot better. Ever since that one really off day, they have been pretty consistent. And as well with the posing, I do think that one thing I've learned, or at least I'll just say one of the things that I've learned from after a few videos of posing, is that when I do that side kind of chest view, when I pull my arm back, I need to, instead of keeping my fist vertical in terms of like my pinky being down and my thumb being up, I need to have it horizontal in order to kind of flex my bicep more and have that peak kind of show while I am doing that on each side. And then there, front delt was feeling a bit, you know, tight, and decided to do that, I guess. I don't really know. I did the wave with my stomach. I don't know if that's like a unique ability. Some people I know can, some people can't. I don't know if I'm in the majority or minority of people that can do that. And then I am still working on that pose. I know it's not like an official pose in bodybuilding, but I do like it in being able to see the top of my shoulders and my traps. So I'm working on it. I don't think it's perfect yet, but doing it, you know, every time I do shoulders is helpful in practicing that. Obviously, practice makes perfect, you know. That's like, oh, yeah, it was this day too. I completely forgot. This was the first day someone actually came up to me and asked for my advice because I had met him in the like charity rugby match, and he said he was getting into lifting too, and this was the first time I saw him at the gym since then, and he asked me for my advice. Now, as much as I want to try and give some like philosophical advice, you know, I'm not like that great at it. I'm not really great at thinking in metaphors, but you know, consistency is key. You know, put your mind to it because you never know what's going to happen. And even if you fail, at least you tried to see where you could get, you know. And nobody in life succeeds without failure. Because if you're not failing, you're not trying. So that's my advice. Consistency and just trying. Even if you think it's dumb, try it. Because then you'll learn from that, whether it works or does not. So that's my kind of advice. But alrighty, howdy y'all. Back from the gym. Good day today. Oh, sorry. Yeah, don't mind the socks. They were still wet from the wash, so I had to hang them up, and I just haven't taken them down yet. But good day today. Got a protein shake. Got a new one from the store. I'm gonna chug that while we're here talking. Today, I mean, obviously I'm still going with the new editing style. I hope that wasn't too loud. Still going. Oh, I missed my trash can. I'm gonna have to pick that up. Wow. All right. Let's get the words rolling. So I didn't have like as much B-roll as I did in the other one. I guess B-roll is, I don't know if that's considered B-roll, but just kind of like the intro stuff. It is a little like, I don't know, it's kind of awkward, you know, with 4 other roommates that don't know that I like really record videos. So, you know, when I'm in the kitchen making food, I mean, nobody walked in on me making like the food and recording everything like yesterday morning, or 2 mornings ago, I guess that would have been. But it's, you know, like if they do, it's a little awkward. But regardless, gonna have a little bit more for next time, tomorrow for arms. We're going like an hour away to go to this like big thrifting event, because we've been trying to like thrift shop at least once a year, because we like the shirts. My buddy and I like the shirts that they can have while thrifting, and it's pretty fun just to see what they got. But it's called op shopping here, opportunity shopping, so we weren't really on the right track. Like the stores we were going to were like antiques and stuff and old stuff rather than like actual thrifting stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Maybe go to the beach, we'll see how that goes, then come back, do some arms day. Also, we did some backyard football. That was a lot of fun. It's been forever since I played backyard football. In the ball that I have here, obviously since we're in Australia, it's not like the typical like college standard American football, but so it's a little bit smaller. But I was bombing that thing. I was throwing pretty good. I was throwing some dots. I underthrew my buddies a little bit when I needed to be chucking it farther, and I had the ability to. I just didn't know how far I was throwing it. So, but that was a lot of fun. I hope we could like get an organized event here for that. And I was actually going to record some of that throwing, and I completely forgot just because I was having fun. So yeah, I didn't have much to record when we got here. Then I forgot to record. It's like this new editing style, I got to get in the habit of recording just like some small things, you know, like how I do with grabbing the protein milk out of the fridge, you know, just like little snippets that kind of can be put together in a collage. But I think also at the end now, I want to start doing like some days, like I want to like research some stuff, like every day do a little bit of research on bodybuilding, you know, and that could be like the end segment to kind of, like I was going to research like today, maybe I'll do it tomorrow for the end of that video, but I was going to like research into like the cortisol when it comes to training like cardio. And I know like obviously after around 20 minutes of cardio, and it does vary on the intensity. I don't know why I said dependence. The intensity of the workout. It does depend how intense you're doing the cardio, but roughly for like just a normal pace of cardio, 20 minutes is when you start to see that cortisol release, and that can inhibit not completely inhibit, but like downgrade muscle growth. I'm blanking on like good words to use. Just like reduce the amount of protein synthesis in your body, because obviously it's looking to break down cells rather than build them up with protein. And that is just on the knowledge I know, but that's why I want to like kind of go through and learn with you guys, for if anyone doesn't know, and like really just reinforce that knowledge of the gym so that I can be doing what's best for bodybuilding. So yeah, just thought I had about what I'll do. But yeah, besides that, as always, I hope you all enjoy the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.